when we spoke to the Manipur CM, he mentioned HIV, he mentioned TB, and Reckitt has sort of now partnered or is in Manipur working with the Prime Minister's scheme for a TB Mukt Bharat, in a sense. Why are we struggling so hard with TB in a sense, especially in India, because it's multi-drug resistant. And the reason it's multi-drug resistant is because there's also, speaking again of behavior and discipline and control, we don't seem to have that when it comes to taking the medicines we're given or taking it right, or we over-medicate, or there's so much contamination in the food and water with the medication that we become multi-drug resistant. So how is this working, and how is Reckitt with the TB Mukt Bharat, like where is this going?
Thank you so much, Swati, for asking this question. First is the geographies in the northeast. They're quite complex. Second is Mr. Bachchan was just mentioning about, frontline health workers swimming, going for a huge distance, delivering polio vaccines. This is almost same situation in many parts, especially in the hilly regions. Government really wants to do something. They have public voices which are very strong. A voice for hepatitis, voice for smallpox, voice for polio. Many times the voices come like the medical voices, which are very difficult to, translate to the common citizens or to, everyone. So it's important, there's more engagement, there is more airtime, there is more GRPs. What government actually gives to the public service messaging, more in the regional languages, and not just in Hindi and English. We do work in most of the tribal districts in India, where the real need is on the Human Development Index. In Maharashtra itself, there are people who speak, Bhil and Pavdi in Nandurbar and Amravati. When the intervention started, we thought Marathi will suffice, but that's not the thing. So behavioral nudges are very important, which should be culturally adaptive. And it should be basically a part and parcel of the communication package which is getting delivered. On your second question, Swati, on the TB part, TB, HIV co-infection is something which is not new. It's been for a while. I have worked on the NACP1, National AIDS Control Program, phase 1, 2, 3, led the big interventions, worked on the price control for the ART medicines when I was with the Clintons in my last assignment for the Asia Pacific. I was heading that. So the basic question is basically, how much efforts are actually going into that? Because both departments were seen very differently with a global fund CCM mechanism now. And, you have the NGO sector leads like Plan and Path and many others. They're playing a very important role to bridge the gaps, which were the intersectoral gap between the Ministry of Health, the RNTCP, Revised National Tuberculosis Control Program, and the National AIDS Control Program. There were two programs running very parallelly. So now the convergence which is happening by the virtue of the country coordination mechanism and how the Global Fund has actually put the task forces in India, that's changing the landscape. I'm very sure with organizations like Plan, who are actually covering whole of India almost for the TB, HIV co-infection and many other things. So we are going to see the good days. And most importantly, ma'am, like you have just mentioned, important is how we stop the new infections. So new infections needs to be stopped. Yeah, thank you.